Hey everyone, Mah-Dry-Bread here. Pokemon Black with only one Regigigas was a blast as always. Let's follow that up with another solo run. Today's the day that we figure out would I be able to beat Pokemon Platinum with a team of only one Ponyta. This might be a hard one. Ponyta is a solo fire-type first form with solid attack and speed, and kind of low health and defense. This isn't as weak as a lot of things that I've used, but solo fire-type isn't really the most versatile type to work with. By level up, we get Flame Wheel and eventually Flare Blitz as our strongest fire physical moves. We also get Stomp, so we might be able to get some early wins with flinches. This moveset isn't amazing or anything, but there's a little bit to work with. By TM, it's mostly the basics plus some fire moves, Iron Tail, and Solar Beam. Well, Solar Beam and Sunny Day wouldn't be a bad idea, and I could see Iron Tail being useful at some parts. I'm probably going to end up picking up Flamethrower. It's a special attack move, but it's also a lot stronger than Flame Wheel, so it'll probably pay off. Like always, I'm writing this script as I go through with the challenge, so all this part is being written before I've started. Everyone guess if I can win or not. I think this is gonna be a disaster. I'm expecting Shinx levels of me having to max out my level early. Maybe we'll reach the Elite Four this time, but I don't really think we're beating them. Let's explain the rules. In combat, I can only use Ponyta. I'll need other Pokemon to use HMs, but I won't be allowed to use any of those Pokemon in battle. No glitches or exploits, no items in battle, only Pokeballs, held items, and items outside of combat are allowed. Also, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let's do this. So, right off the bat, I used the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Chimchar with Ponyta so that we can do the whole run with it. I picked to replace Chimchar so that our rival would have Empoleon, probably the hardest for us to fight, although Fire's neutral to both third form versions of the other two starters, weirdly enough. I name him Horsey, because that's hilarious. Our nature is Rash, so more special attack and less special defense. I think I'm fine with that. It might even end up making our special attack better than our regular attack. Maybe. It could pay off. Flamethrower is better than Flame Wheel after all, so I'd rather have the special attack. Our ability is Flash Fire, so we absorb fire moves to make us stronger. I really doubt that's ever going to come in handy though. So early game travel is all pretty normal. We're a little stronger than that of a first form starter, so stats wise we're fine, but the lack of type variety will be an issue. I'm guessing the reason why this run has been requested so much is that Gen 4 was kind of weird with fire types. You can't really get many until you're in the post game. In fact, if I remember right, in Diamond and Pearl, it was just the fire starter, Ponyta, and I think there might have been one other that you can get before the post game? Magmar, maybe? Point is, there weren't many fire types to pick from, so a lot of people probably haven't played this game using fire types. Let's see what it's like with one Ponyta. Rival time. The fight was kind of funny because I thought we'd just lose because they'd keep using Growl over and over, and I figured I'd be too weak by the end, just for us to level up, learn Ember, and beat Piplup up with that instead. He only started attacking super late into the fight. I swear it's like he was trying to lose, even though I've legit lost to this rival fight plenty of times in the past. So I grinded to level 15 before getting to the Rock Gym, but it was just awful. 2 rock throws leave us at only 1 health, and that's if we're lucky. I could see us not being able to beat this gym for quite a while. Ember actually seemed to be doing more damage than Flame Wheel. I guess their defense is just way higher than their special defense. I tried a few more times at level 20, and we were for sure doing better, but the real killer here is Onix using Screech. It totally destroys our defense and makes it way too easy to get taken out right after. Plus, it's rare that we get to his last Pokemon with more than a few health points left. I have to keep getting stronger. Alright, so at level 23, we have this awesome try where a lucky crit on Onix led to us going into the Cranidos fight with way more health. I might have said that right for once. We still took some decent damage, but Ember was finally hitting pretty hard, and we had enough health to make it through. Okay, back to travel. So we're not really getting any awesome move for quite a while. I think our most reliable move, the whole run, will be Flamethrower, but we're not going to have that until I can surf outside of battle. I mean, unless I want to fight with the slot machines for a few hours to get it early, but I don't really think it's going to come to that. That probably isn't going to be necessary. I figure Commander Mars won't be too bad, and the Grass Gym should be easy, but as soon as we get to the Ghost Gym, I could see us getting stuck. Who knows, maybe Flame Wheel will do the trick. I do believe her team has less defense than special defense. Okay, Mars ended up being an easy first try. We still took a decent bit of damage, but it wasn't all that bad considering it's a fight I often have to grind for. Hey, at least the forest is a pretty great place to level up in this time. I mean, more so than usual. Well, with having fire moves and all. I kind of feel like I should be getting some extra experience here so that I'm more prepared for the Ghost Gym when we get there. I could see that one in the Water Gym a little bit later being absolutely brutal. Then there's the Steel Gym, and I'm pretty sure they've got some ground and rock moves, so I really don't know how well that's gonna go. To be honest, I'm not really confident about a lot of major fights in this run, so wish me luck. Yeah, the Grass Gym was super easy. I thought maybe there was a chance they'd throw a curveball, but we swept them. Okay, well that leaves us with just Commander Jupiter between us and the ever-terrifying Ghost Gym. You know, most of our moves are just generic fire moves. We don't need all of these. Maybe I'll grab Substitute since the TM is pretty early in the game. I feel like I've been making some decent use of that recently in other runs. Maybe I should use it more often. Although I guess a low special defense nature and low defense Pokemon might not be the best Pokemon for Substitute, but we'll see. It's just a bit hard to justify using it when we only have 4 moves total on our team. You know? Solo runs are when you really need Substitute, but it's also the time when it's very hard to justify getting Substitute. It's a weird conundrum. Now, Jupiter wasn't that hard, but she did take a few tries because of Smokescreen being the worst thing in the universe. On the first run, we just missed and fainted, but on the second try, we only lost maybe half of our health in total. Not too bad. You know what? The closer we get to the Ghost Gym, the better I feel about it. We're one-shotting a lot of the stuff that we fight between gyms, and as long as I use Substitute to stop Confuse Ray, I think this could end up going pretty smoothly. I figure their defense won't be as good as their special defense, so Flame Wheel's probably gonna pull through for us. I hope I'm not getting my hopes up too much. Wow, Ghost Gym went awesome! Yeah, using Substitute on Miss Magius was incredibly important, because on the first try, I just hit myself in confusion twice and fainted, but still. Now I'm gonna be honest, we probably should have lost the rival fight on the way out of town just because on the first try, the Prinpulp's Bubble Beam crit to one-shot us from full health, and we couldn't hurt it much, so I figured that we'd just lose on regular attempts. But that's not what happened. We flinched him on the first round, then crit him on the second, so he never stood a chance. Because of that, we breezed our way through the entire rival fight. Alright, well, I don't know what to expect at the upcoming fighting gym. I guess Lucario should be easy, but I don't know how the rest of the team will go. But then we have another rival fight, and the Water Gym, and I could see both of those being hard. We just got lucky on the last rival fight. I don't think it's gonna go that well next time, but only time will tell. I figure there's no way that the Water Gym won't be a nightmare, though. Hey, Fighting Gym was actually really easy. Rock Tomb did hurt us quite a bit, but the speed drop wasn't enough to ruin the fight for us. We took some big hits, but we still took her out. It's a good thing Lucario's part Steel type, or that could have been worse. Okay, as expected, Bubble Beam made really short work of us in the next rival fight, but with a single flinch, we got pretty close to taking him out. Maybe if I use Substitute against Staravia, then I could get away with an extra hit. Considering we have a Shell Bell, that might heal us enough to make it worth it. Stack that with either a flinch or a crit, and I bet we could win. Well, there we go. The very next try in Substitute really didn't matter because we crit to take him down early. We had a small scare with his own Ponyta critting us after a Tail Whip, but we survived just fine. We're about to hit a brick wall now, though. Right? Okay, yeah, that's what I expected. He opens with Water Onyx, so our attack is down from Intimidate. Substitute doesn't help us. We do almost nothing to him, and then we get demolished. I guess I could replace Stomp with Return for a stronger move, but even if I do, I'd have to be a lot stronger before I can actually brute force this. Alright, so I'm grinding for a while. I probably have all of my effort values already, but I want to be sure. I've been trying to think about how I want to beat this gym for a while, but there's really no great answer. I could go pick up Solar Beam, and it could help, but we'd still get taken out in so few hits that we wouldn't be able to pull it off without also having Sunny Day. I could do that, but at that point I'd be deleting some pretty good moves just for one battle in a game where TMs aren't reusable. The only real alternative, though, is to go with Return and Brute Force it, and I don't really know if that's going to go much better. I'm thinking what I might do is I'll grind for a while, I'll get the TMs for Sunny Day and Solar Beam, and I'll use them to replace Stomp and Fire Blast. I can always get Fire Blast back with a TM later if I need it. They're cheap at the store. And when I really need a normal move again, I can replace something with Return. That sounds like a good plan, actually. I'm gonna give that a try. Wow, that strategy worked great. It sucked that we had to completely overhaul our moveset, but first try and Sunny Day kept Waterfall from making us faint, then we swept his whole team after Water Onyx went down. That was perfect. Alright, I guess I could reverse some of the changes I've made to the moveset now, since I have a TM for Fire Blast, but there's only one major fight between me and the Surf TM. Once I have that, I can just go to the Ironworks and get a free Flamethrower TM. Flame Wheel is cool, but I think Flamethrower is just gonna help us a lot more in the long run. As expected, Cyrus was super easy. The first Cyrus fight always is. He's just got a really frail team. I'm sure the next Cyrus fight is going to be a lot harder though. Right after that, we get Surf, so I wasted no time in going to the Ironworks to get the TM for Flamethrower. He's got 35 more power than Flame Wheel, and although it uses our lower special attack stat, it should be a pretty substantial upgrade. And what do you know, it paid off right away. When I tried this rival fight with Flame Wheel, I got destroyed. But the moment I switched to Flamethrower so the attack drop from Intimidate didn't matter, we took him out easily. Bubble Beam still hits us incredibly hard, but him being part Steel type at least meant that Flamethrower was neutral. Will the Steel Gym go that well though? I could see it being easy or hard depending on what ground and rock moves they use. So most of the Steel Gym actually ended up being a sweep other than Bastiodon at the end. Now, I absolutely would have lost this if not for his Stone Edge missing one of the times, but then again, I probably could have gotten a win on the second try just by using a substitute earlier in the fight. It was a little scary, but it still didn't take that long. Well, we're off to the lakes now. There's some commander fights here, but they're all super easy by this point in the game. I think by this point in the game in the Shinx run, we were already level 100, so I guess we're doing a lot better than in that one. I still haven't gotten around to changing the moveset from how we had it before, but we might have to sometime soon. It's hard to say. Sunny Day and Solar Beam are actually still both really useful in trainer battles. I think that I'm going to have to hold on to them until I have a good reason to replace them. Next up is the Ice Gym and the second Cyrus fight. I don't think either one will be hard though. Maybe the Cyrus fight? Let's go take him out. The Ice Gym was super easy. They hurt us a little bit, but we were just hitting them so hard that we healed back up with a Shell Bell. Flamethrower was way too much for them to handle. It's nice to have an easy time with this gym for once. This is usually one of the harder ones. I almost always have to grind for this one. Now, believe it or not, but the usually easy second Cyrus fight was very close. With just a couple more levels, it probably would have been easy, but we just weren't hitting hard enough to keep them from hitting us back, and we aren't that tanky. He's got a lot of hard-hitting moves like Slash and Drill Peck that leave us with red health by the time we take down his last Pokemon. That makes me think I can't beat the upcoming Cyrus fight without some serious grinding. That means I'm fighting every trainer I can on my way up the mountain. This is a pain to do since there's no Poke Center up there, and I'd likely have to do the double battle at the end with very few power points, but I guess I can get around that by going up the mountain more than once. It takes a while, but this is genuinely one of the better ways to get experience at this point in the run, so I can't really complain. I figure the double battle will be pretty easy for once, but Cyrus might be brutal. Okay, so by the time I got to the double battle alongside our rival, we only had 3 power points on Flamethrower. Because of that, I had to use a lot of substitute Sunny Day and Solar Beam to save on power points. I've literally never had this happen before, but they just kept taking out our rival's Pokemon one by one. I've never seen him go through that much of his team before. They really could have finished us off at just about any time, but they kept going for a rival instead. He was down to Empoleon by the time we won the fight. It was kind of amazing to watch. I didn't even know he could send out his whole team in a fight like that. I just kind of thought it was like the double battle in Pokemon Emerald with Steven Stone, you know, where you send in 3 and he sends in 3? That was crazy. Okay, this is what I worried about. We're not even close to beating Cyrus yet. First is Houndoom, who we can overpower with some Flamethrowers and Sunny Day, but we still take decent damage in the process. It's obvious we're doomed though, because next is Water Onyx, who uses Earthquake. We don't even do half his health and damage with Solar Beam. Our effort values are long since full, so I think the answer here is just to use a few rare candies and try again. A few levels later, we're at level 67, and I thought we were actually going to get an early win after a critical Flamethrower took Houndoom out early, letting us survive a hit of Earthquake against Water Onyx. Problem is, Solar Beam still does less than half of his health and damage, so we still just go down on the next turn. I just have to keep getting stronger. A whole 5 levels later at level 72, and I still lose every single time easily. We are getting closer to Solar Beam being a 2-shot on Water Onix, but he's dealing way too much damage. I'm pretty confident at this point that by level 75, I could hang on with just a few points of health and take him out. If that happens, then there's a good chance we can sweep the rest of his team with Flamethrower and get a win. Okay, so at level 75, I still just kept losing thanks to Earthquake taking us out, but after a few tries, we finally survived with only 4 health. I thought it still might not be enough to get the win, but we outsped and one-shot the entire rest of his team, so it didn't matter. What a weird fight to have to level up a bunch for. Okay, the Electric Gym is right after and ended up being very easy. I used Substitute at the start and Jolteon just kept using Thunder Wave anyway, so I used it to set up Sunny Day and then swept his whole team with Flamethrower. You know, when I was first looking at my moveset, I wasn't planning on keeping Sunny Day, but it's been great. Alright, the last little bit of travel before the end of the game. I figure if we're gonna have to rework our moveset, it's gonna have to be real soon. Like, I can't figure out what would help more in the final battle. Solar Beam or Return? And if it would even be worth ditching something for Fire Blast, maybe, just to squeeze out a bit more damage. I don't think we absolutely need to keep Solar Beam right now, but I could see the Bertha fight being awful without it. Actually, I'd need to reapply Sunny Day midway through that fight anyway, so I don't think there's anything I can do to stop that one from being awful. We'll have to see when we get there, and there's still a rival fight we have to get through first. Okay, well, the last rival fight shocked me. I lost pretty bad a few times trying to figure out the order of moves to use, but once I realized that if I just start with Sunny Day and spam Flamethrower the entire fight, we win pretty easily. Sunny Day gives us just enough power to deal with Snorlax without getting hit twice, and then against Rapidash, they use Sunny Day for me. It's really amazing. It's like he's trying to speed up his own loss to get it over with. Now that we're the Elite Four, let's take a look at our stats. Okay, well, 186 attack is great, but it's a shame we can't really use it. We're still going to get a lot out of our 145 special attack, though, so I can't really complain too much. 195 speed doesn't even really surprise me that much, because in one of the failed rival fights, I was faster than Snorlax even after getting paralyzed. That's really rare. You know what? I think that we might stand a chance. If not now, maybe in 5 levels. Make your final guesses on if we can win this or not. Let's do this. First is Bug Trainer Aaron. I'm sure this won't surprise you, but the Bug Trainer did not defeat the Fire Pony. Now I wonder if Bertha is just going to be a brick wall. Second is Bertha. You know what? It wasn't bad. I wasted some health early on with an unnecessary substitute near the start, and almost fainted to an Earthquake early on in the fight because of it, but as soon as we had Sunny Day up, we were sweeping with Solar Beam. Pretty easy. Third is Fire Trainer Flint. The fight starts amazingly as Houndoom normally wouldn't be a 2-shot, but him using Sunny Day let us get the win early. But quickly I saw that we couldn't win the whole fight. We have to just brute force him with Flamethrower, and it works alright until Flareon, who absorbs fire moves. Solar Beam did just about nothing either. Alright, well, I don't feel like I'm gonna get a ton out of Substitute anyway. It hurts to get rid of, but we have almost 200 attack. Return would really help us in this fight. Okay, first try just spamming Return the entire fight, and we win. Although it's still a bit close. It pulverized the low defense members of the team, but we were still just getting 2 shots on the tanky ones. It's good, but we really do have to get hit as little as possible. I'm feeling kind of good about our chances to win around this level, though. Fourth is Psychic Trainer Lucian. Right away, Mr. Mime went down real fast to a Flamethrower and only set up a Reflect, so things started well. Gallade was a problem, though. We did over half his health and damage, but his berry healed him back up a bit. I thought we'd lose to Stone Edge when our second Flamethrower took him out anyway. After that is Bronzong, who went down in 1 critical Flamethrower, although I'm not sure it needed to be a crit. But next is Espeon, and it's a notoriously hard hitter. We could 2-shot it if we had a chance, but Psychic dropped us to red health, and then she used Quick Attack to finish us off. Okay, well, I could see us winning if we had just a little more health. Let's get a few more levels. Next try at level 85. The fight goes basically the exact same until Espeon, who dropped our special defense, but didn't use Quick Attack right after, so we took it out this time. Alakazam was last, and although we have almost no health, he's physically frail and we're fast, so we just one-shot him with Return. Well, that was close. Finally, the Pokemon champion Cynthia. Things start great as Spiritomb doesn't hurt us much, and a critical flamethrower with Sunny Day takes it out real fast. Not only that, but right after is Melodic, who I ended up taking down in one critical return. What an incredible start. The problem is, third is Garchomp, who literally one-shots us from full health with Earthquake. Okay, well, that's obviously going to be a major problem. Let's get 5 levels and see if anything changes. So, I try a few more times at level 90. You'd think Melodic not being a one-shot would be a problem, but honestly, it uses Mirror Cut most of the time, so as long as I use Return, it never hurts us. Problem is, Garchomp is still just one-shotting us every time. I mean, maybe if I level up a bit more we can survive, but for all I know, her Earthquakes are massive overkill. I'm really not sure. After roughly a million tries at level 95, where Melodic uses full restore and wastes too much time to use Solar Beam on Garchomp, we finally have a run where an early crit in the fight bypassed the problem. I was hoping that that would mean that we win, but of course she has a berry, so even though we can survive one Earthquake, if our health is full, we still just faint. Man, I wish I had Substitute right now, but I had to ditch something to get past Flint. I guess I have to hit level 100 and hope to get super lucky with a crit or great damage range. Just so you can see how brutal the damage range is, by the way, check this out. I have a lot of failed runs just like this. We get to Garchomp with full health thanks to our Shell Bell, and 2 hits of Return to bring her all the way down to an absolute sliver, then we lose. It's so close. I know this is possible. Okay, after many tries where 2 returns would leave Garchomp with a sliver, we finally had this run where her Earthquake brought us down to just above red health, and although 2 returns were not enough to take her down at first, she missed a Dragon Rush and used a full restore. That gave me enough chances to finally hit her 2 more times and finish her off with a third of her health remaining. We finally got the damage ranges. Togekiss was next, and Flamethrower did solid damage as his Water Pulse brought us back down into red health and confused us. We finished it off, but things look sketchy. If we hit ourselves, we'll just lose. Lucario's next, and we thankfully one-shot it with Flamethrower instead of hitting ourselves. And last is Roserade, but we snapped out of confusion to get the one-shot. Ooh, that's it, the battle's over. Well, that was a lot closer than I thought it would be right at the end, but I always knew Garchomp was going to be terrifying in this run. It's funny, early on when I was in the beginning, I thought that this was going to be the Shinx run, where I wasn't even going to get the Pokemon champion. And then by the time that I was beating Cyrus pretty easily in some of those fights, I was thinking, oh man, well, you know what, my level's not too crazy, I got a lot of headroom, maybe I'll win at level 85 or level 90. Nope. One of those fights are right at the end. It gets real hard due to one Pokemon on the Pokemon champion, but you know what? That kind of makes for a funner run in the end, doesn't it? I really hope you guys like that run. The next Pokemon Challenge should be up next Saturday like usual, with Pokemon Gold with only version exclusives. I really loved doing that run in Pokemon Red, so I'm pumped to do it in Gold. That's why I'm doing it so soon after the Red one. Plus, it's a great excuse to do more team runs, and I think that the team runs are always really fun. I love using some eclectic band of weirdos to try and make it through the game. There's something really satisfying about that. As always, I'm looking forward to your suggestions in the comments, in the challenge request section of my Discord channel, and on Twitter. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. Outro time. I'm sure it will not at all surprise you to hear that I have a load of work to do today. Whoa, you've never heard that before. So I have a lot to do today. In fact, I have to edit this entire video today because work has been crazy. Work has been crazy for the last, I don't know, months. Work has been crazy for like the last year, in fairness. Basically, ever since I got up from being bedridden back in, man, I don't even remember what month it was anymore that I got back to work. February of last year, I want to say? I feel like I've been in a non-stop work rush for like a year now, with just little breaks where I have a little bit more time. But obviously my personal life is incredibly busy right now, as you all know. So I have to get this done, and I have to get that done, and I have to get the work done, and I gotta make some money, and I gotta plan a whole bunch of things, and life is very, very busy. And that's all really just a long-winded way of saying it is 3:30 p.m. I only woke up like 2 or 3 hours ago because I was up until 3 in the morning working, and I have not eaten yet. So I am going to save this audio file, cook myself some breakfast at 3:30 p.m., wolf down the breakfast, probably in front of my computer monitor, and then edit this entire video. That's my work day. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.